It's in the homes, it's in the schools, it's in the movies, and it's in the music. It's accessible to teens more than ever. It's marijuana. That's what we're talking about on today's show on Teen Voices for Real. This is the show where we keep it real, with real talk, real problems, and real solutions, with real teens who talk about everything. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dr. Carol Van Dyke. Okay, let's get started. Akeem, I want to ask you the question, how common is marijuana use among teens?
It's fairly common nowadays. I would venture to say if you have 5 kids in the room, 4 of them have at least tried weed before.
Wow. I would say that's pretty common. That's pretty common. Okay, and are you a marijuana smoker?
Sociably.
Sociably. Tell me what you mean. Tell me what you mean.
Which means that I will only smoke marijuana. If I do, it would only be within a group of people. It's not an emotional use of marijuana. I'm not dependent on it or anything. But
the fact that you just said I'm not dependent on it kind of like makes me wonder already if you are dependent.
Of course, but there's no 12-step program or anything. I'm not. I'm just saying because some people smoke weed because they're stressed or something. I do
For
it.
you, it's just social.
Social.
How did you get started?
Well, I denied it for about 17 years of my life, and then I started reading about how famous artists in the past who attributed all these masterpieces, and they smoked weed and it enhanced their creativity. I'm a creative person.
Okay.
I had to smoke weed.
Okay, so that's how you get. And how old were you when you got started?
17.
Okay, you were 17, so fairly recent.
I'm 18 now.
You're 18, so a year ago.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, David? Are you a marijuana?
No, but my position.
You never tried it?
Nah, but my position on it is interesting because I think in a world that projects liquor as if it's soda pop versus which has no medical benefit at all, I think that it should be the reverse. I think liquor should be today's marijuana, and marijuana should be accessible because marijuana has benefits to it as opposed to liquor not having none at all. So I think the solution to making marijuana successful in America is basically if you crack down on the way that it's distributed and make sure it doesn't get into the wrong hands and make sure it gets into the good hands, then I think it's gonna have more beneficial uses as opposed to just people getting drunk and messing up their liver. I mean, people die from like liver failure and don't have a liver transplant all the time because of liquor being marketed as if it's like just a regular Capri Sun or something like that.
Okay, but it's interesting that you're saying that because you're saying that it has all these effects, but you never tried it. Why haven't you tried it? Why aren't you a chronic marijuana user if you are pro marijuana?
I mean, to me, it's just like I know I always have my goals in mind. So I mean.
But why not? But based on your.
I wouldn't want to. I don't know. It's just to me, I just know that's not really approved of in my home, and like that's not. I don't know. It's just something that I just figure might distract me or get me caught up, in attaining my.
Okay, so
my
there
goals.
are some negative effects.
Right. And on top of that,
there are some negative effects.
On top of that, I'm a college football athlete. I can't do that because like they test for that stuff. I could lose my scholarship over that.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So I mean, on top of that, like. I mean, I don't.
So to me, with you saying that, because you started off saying that, okay, there's these effects, and okay, alcohol has all these negative effects. Marijuana really doesn't have these negative effects, but then you say, okay, well, no, I'm not going to smoke marijuana because there are negative effects. I could lose my scholarship, and then you start naming all these other things. So to me, it's kind of like you're on both sides of the fence.
If I had like some disorder where I needed medical marijuana, then of course, I mean, I would have to use it. But I'm saying like, I don't know, I don't use number one because I'm cheap. So I don't have money just to waste on like a quick minute high. If I don't, if I don't need it.
Money.
Anyway, so I don't know. I'm just cheap. Like I'm not gonna waste money I could save towards something else. But I don't know. I never really felt like I needed to get over it. I mean, I could see I'm just speaking for the medical benefit of it all, really.
Okay, so the medical, and that's a totally different subject area for the medical use. But as a teen, you've never tried it, okay? And you did say that there are some negative effects of you.
I think sometimes people don't have enough self-control to limit enough self-control and responsibility to limit their use, because marijuana can sometimes tend to, you know, stronger and harder drug use like crack, you know, stuff like that. I just think, you know, if you are gonna try something like that, you gotta be at least smart enough to know that, you know, I can't allow this to get to more than what it is. I mean, you gotta have that, at least that amount of self-control, because one thing about marijuana is that you don't hear anybody dying from smoking weed.
And I think that's the problem, yeah.
Like, you don't hear anybody smoking weed, but yeah, you hear people dying from drinking too much. I mean, so that's the thing.
Or some of the other harder drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just, to me, it's just a matter of self-control, because if you know how to control your substance use, then, I mean, you shouldn't really have a problem in a sense. But I mean, it's still the law, so I mean.
I agree. Okay, Tanez, so tell me, have you ever tried marijuana?
Yes, and it has some effects.
Do you think it's a problem among teens? Do you think it's a widespread problem?
It's a gift. Eventually it will. I can see it becoming a problem in the future, but like right now today, I just think it's an outlet for teens.
And see, that's the problem because here in the inner city, some researchers say that there is a very high percentage. I'm not talking about nationally, but I'm talking about here in the inner city. Yeah, the statistics for marijuana use in the city is very high, some researchers will say. And that kind of like speaks to what you're saying, how, you know, a lot of teens are smoking.
I mean, there's a lot of teens, but it's more so adults that's doing it. Like, most of the people that didn't graduate from high school or something like that, they normally is doing all the weed smoking. Then it's probably.
Oh yeah, but you have some as far as 12-year-olds that are 11 and 12-year-olds.
Well,
I've counseled kids where we're talking about 11 and 12-year-olds have tried marijuana. Do you think it's a widespread problem among youths in today's world?
Not that young, but probably 16 and up is spreading, because it's at graduation parties, it's at clubs, you know, 18 and up parties, stuff like that. It's even after school sometimes. I see people walking, or before school, and people come in blow or whatever. So, I mean, it's eventually becoming a problem, and then it's going to eventually affect, you know, the overall outlook on teens.
How did you get started using?
Well, I was at a party, and everybody was like, "Yeah, we smoking weed," and I'm like, I'm drinking. Everybody drinking whatever, we playing beer pong or whatever. So I'm like,
how old were you?
Think carefully.
16. Yeah, 16.
Okay, 16. So, Tanez, so you said that you were at a party.
Yeah,
and your friends were smoking.
Yeah, and I was in the car. Then I seen everybody coughing and choking, and everybody laughing. Then everybody eyes red, and they talking about their throat burning. I'm like, this seems like a pretty bad drug. So then I end up trying it, and I coughed, and then I started feeling like some effects, like my cheeks went numb, and then.
Okay, but this is the part that's mind-boggling to me. You say that they were coughing, they were choking. And what did you say to yourself that gave you permission to go, oh yeah, they're coughing and choking, so I guess I'll try it so I can cough and choke and, I don't understand
because they were saying like that's some of the side effects, like you'll end up choking or whatever a little bit.
But that's fun to you? That's enough for you to say?
Pain before pleasure.
Well, I don't want to take it
that
far.
You won't take it that far, but
I would, because, you know, this might be a stretch with this analogy, but, you know, sex, you know, it's painful at first. Might sweat a little bit. Hopefully you sweat. And,
oh my God.
you know, but the end result is ecstasy. Not, you know, the drug.
Okay, you say that, but for some it's not ecstasy, because if you're smoking marijuana and you're under the influence, I mean, because of the effects of marijuana, I mean, it's a thought disorder. So part of it is, so
you
first
would
of
say
all,
disorder, I would say enhances.
First, but you say it enhances it. Sure, because it does have a way of altering your perception. So in altering your perception, you are going to think that this drug is just the best, this is doing it for me, oh, I'm this, I'm that.
Okay, I don't think I'm Superman when I'm high, but at the same time.
But you're describing it as you make your analogies about sex and.
Well, it's not as bad as you believe it to be as well. It's, you know, it's a balance. It's how you are as a person. Like he said, you know, it takes a certain kind of person to be able to smoke marijuana and still obtain their goals, because there are a lot of people, there are more people sitting on the couch smoking weed than there are people in the business world who are achieving goals and making big deals while smoking weed. Now, it takes a certain kind of person to be that way, but there are people who can do that. And when I first started smoking, you know, for the whole period of my life before that, I thought it was pointless. I said, why would you do that? It's being lazy. Why would you do that? Because all the people I saw, you know, just sitting on the couch, jobless. But then when I started getting into the artistic community and everything, you know, I was seeing people, you know, painting murals and, no, like really. I saw a guy paint a mural while he was high, and it was like one of the best paintings I've ever seen in my life. And then, you know, there are other people who are, I really didn't want to take it this far, but, you know, musicians and everything, you know, they're making some pretty good songs while high. Now, I can beat those odds. I can be one of those people.
Okay, so you think so. Okay, now I want